Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the B Channel podcast, where my objective is to bless, edify, and encourage others to live their best lives. I am here today to have yet another impactful conversation about Black men and mental health. But this time, we are going to be talking about how depression affects relationships. And I have my good buddy here, Franklin. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Franklin Riley. Honestly, I'm just me. No, but
Come
I'm
on,
just
Billy.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I'm just a struggling, just young, educated black brother, just trying to figure himself out while just going around in the world, changing lives as best as I can.
Yes, and y'all, he's being modest. This guy has a heart of gold. He has a very pure heart. He's the sweetest soul, y'all. But I just
Thank
want to
you.
brag
Thank
on
you.
him a little bit. But can you share with us a little bit about your journey with depression?
Sure, definitely. Thank you for asking that question too. I appreciate that. Um, my recovery, my recovery with depression has been a roller coaster, least to say. I grew up in a household where not that much structure going on. I suffered with depression. I was watching my mom. Sorry if I get kind of emotional,
That's okay.
but I watched my mom suffer with sickle cell anemia for a long time. Um, she was a strong woman, strong woman, and she fought hard, to battle through that, battle through the pain, and she wore a smile on her face every day, and that kind of gave me the motivation through just seeing her struggle, just seeing her go through life in pain, just still have a smile on her face no matter what. And that kind of inspired me to kind of become Franklin, become who I am. And through the times of watching my mom in the hospital, not really knowing much about my father was in and out of my life. Uh, I grew up with my sister.
Hmm.
We've been through a lot together, but we also been through a lot individually. Um, Watching us actually get evicted, and not knowing where we're going to live. Um, Growing up in middle school, getting bullied, being told I was, ugly and I won't amount to anything, and having teachers tell me that, I'm not going to be anything in life and I'm not going to achieve my goals. And they thought my goals were just silly and stupid.
Mm.
But just having that motivation of people telling you you can't do it, and then you're proving them wrong. It's kind of like a cliche, but getting down to the nitty-gritty of it, when you really have that opportunity to show people who you are and what you're made of through the toughest life situations you've been through, that right there can, inspire you to kind of get you up off your butt and to, uh, to keep going through life, to keep pushing. And for anyone who are, is going through struggles, going through depression, anxiety, PTSD, just know that you're not alone, for one. Your feelings are valid. Just know you are being heard. And if you don't feel like it, you can always call on a friend. You can always call on a family member. You can call on your wife, your husband, your kids, even if they may not understand. As long as you have someone that you feel like someone can listen to you, that what really counts.
Yes, and definitely add to that list God, because
Amen.
when
Amen.
everybody else is like, I don't know you, or I don't care, or they just doing their own thing, God is always there. So it's so important
Absolutely.
that we remember that too. And
Absolutely.
that's quite the story there, because like,
Thank you.
that could probably add a lot of fuel to the fire in regards to that whole depression thing, but you didn't let it overtake you.
I didn't, and I
You're still
didn't,
here to
and
tell about it.
I'm still here. I'm still here. And the one thing that I always say to people too is not let your environment become who you are.
Ooh.
Meaning, if doesn't matter where you're living, if you're living in the slumps, if you're living in a shelter, if you're living with your mom, your pops, your cousins, whoever, and if you feel stuck, if you feel trapped, that's okay. It's within you to build that motivation to get yourself out of that environment. I've man, I moved to Texas the first time by myself, and I was like, you know what, like I just need a change in my life, I need a change in environment, and I just packed up my stuff and just went. I just left, and that actually helped because I got to see outside of my environment. I got to see what the world looked like outside of my neighborhood, outside of my county, outside of my state. And it opened my eyes to a lot of different possibilities in life. And it kind of changed my worldview about people and about spirituality, about life in general. So I do recommend if you feel stuck, it's okay, but you have to work on getting yourself out of that environment.
Absolutely, because it can be all too easy to just say, well, I'm here. Well, this is it because this is all I see. But you got to see beyond what you see.
Amen. That's
It's just
true.
crucial. Like, it's really crucial. So, when it comes to relationships, how soon do you share about your depression?
And that's another good question. It's I would say I'm a good judge of character. Um, for my level of vulnerability, it takes a lot, but it doesn't take the time to get there. It takes a couple actions. But the one thing for me, I have to build trust with you. That's my one of my things to do is communication and trust. If that communication is built solid, if we have a good solid foundation, that's a start for me to kind of start being vulnerable. If I could trust you on telling you about a crappy day that I had, or even if I stubbed my toe, and if I don't feel judgment from you, then that's a good sign for me. And I've met a few people who never really judged me about my worst days. I had a few people never judge me about my worst mistakes that I've made in my life, and you're one of them. You're definitely one of them who never judged me about my mistakes and things that I've made in life. So I do thank you for that. That really means a lot to me.
Oh, let him shout me out, y'all. I feel the love.
Mm,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're
Um,
welcome.
so what do you think, from your personal experience, is the biggest misconception or struggle when it comes to loving somebody that has depression?
For me, I think it's the lack of knowledge about mental health. It's definitely we have a lot of uh, rules, regulations, or whatever you want to call it around mental health, around young black men not being able to communicate their feelings. That I don't like that stereotype. I don't like that. Um, it's not true. People have their ways of communicating, and it comes with patience. It comes with active listening. It comes with uh, n- not having judgment towards them when they tell you things, and just loving them just unconditionally.
Absolutely. That makes a world of difference when you know that you have a safe space and you can have a safe place to fall apart. That's what Warren Campbell says about Eric Campbell. He says that he's his safe place to fall apart. And every
Hmm.
man, even though y'all can be strong, it's okay to have
Yes,
that safe place to fall apart and be vulnerable and remember that there is strength in vulnerability. So
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, so it's really essential that everybody have their safe space so that they can keep
Yes,
going. You know, as they help you to just recalibrate and have the right perspective on things and kind of allow you to take that step back and say, "Oh, hold up, have you considered this?" Or like maybe you need to like take a beat or something. So that's
yeah,
important.
it is important. And you're absolutely right about that too. When it comes to communication, vulnerability, being open with one another, it's very scary. It's very scary at first, but once you start doing it, once you start getting to know yourself, to understand your emotional intelligence, to understand how you process your emotions, what trigger you, how do you work through that trigger, how do you communicate your needs, your feelings, kind of plays a huge part in that too.
Yeah, like it's so important, like what you said about emotional intelligence, because like sometimes people spend a lot of time going to school and learning things, but they forget
Absolutely.
to learn about who are you spiritually, who are you
Hmm.
emotionally, what do you
Hmm.
like about yourself, what do you not like about yourself, what triggers you, like you said. So
Yeah.
those things are important to really just hone in on, because then when something happens, you can articulate that to somebody because you've done the work to figure out who you are individually.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
then when you get with someone, y'all both can say, okay, this is what's going on with me. This is
Hmm.
my triggers. This is
Hmm.
where I am right now as far as my emotional maturity, my spiritual maturity, my mental, maturity. This is where I'm at. And let's work together to grow, to be better, go in a positive direction.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And when you have that courage to speak up for yourself, that's the most powerful thing in the world. Because once you know how to speak up for yourself and articulate how you feel, and have that strong boundary set, to where um, if someone even talks bad against you, you're like, oh, I don't like what you're wearing. You look ugly in those shoes or whatever, and you can just respond as, okay, thanks for that, consideration. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. I know I look nice. I know
Yeah.
my swag is all nice and all, but appreciate that. I know you're looking out for me and all, but I chose this. I
Right.
wanted to wear this. If I wanted to walk out in a Spider-Man costume, shoot, I'm going to do it because that's what I feel like wearing today. I'm not going to let nobody
Okay.
discourage me, and I've done that before too. Well, not in a whole Spider-Man costume, but
Right. We know
I
how you know that Captain America.
wait, hold on. I got to show you something real quick. I think your fans might like this though. I got this a long time ago, and I still have it too. It's not in good condition, but I don't know if you can kind of see this thing. I used
Yes.
to wear this thing all the time
Yes.
out in the public, and it's a backpack, y'all. It's a backpack, seriously.
Yeah.
Um,
Be
but the
yourself.
fun, exactly, and the funny, the thing too. When I was actually going for my license, when I was doing training, to become a life coach and everything, I so in our training, like our last second to last day, we had to tell our life story,
Hmm.
and we had to kind of present it in the three H's. The hurt, I think it's the hurt, the hope, and I forgot what the last H was. But it was the way of telling your story of just what you've been through, how you're working through it, and what you're looking forward to in the future with yourself. And basically, with my connection with like comic book heroes and things like that, like I wear that stuff for fashion, but I don't just wear it for fashion. I wear it as a symbol because I want to help people. You know, if I can't help people physically, how can I help you emotionally? How can I help you mentally? And if I can't help anybody, that's a symbol for myself too, you know, because how can I help myself today? How can I work myself through a tough day of trying to get out of bed, you know? Like there's days where I'm stuck in bed until like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, because I'm just having such a depressive day. And my routines aren't working, my wellness routines isn't working, my wellness tools isn't working. Um, and you just gotta dig. I just dig deep, you know. I just kind of just, all right, man. You know, what would Peter Parker do? You know, what would Wolverine do? What would Deadpool do? You know, how would Storm from the X-Men, you know, overcome this and stuff like that? You know, it's just it's you kind of gotta take yourself out of it and put someone else in your shoes mentally in a way that kind of makes any sense. You know?
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense to like, because sometimes you need to have that that vision in your head of somebody that you admire, and or even
Exactly.
someone that's been in your shoes in a similar position, because then you can
Mhm.
say, oh, look at them, they went through
Mhm.
something similar and they overcame it, or they feel like this a lot of the time, but they still get things done. So
Yeah.
it's a testament to like just the human strength, the
Mm.
tenacity, the perseverance to just tell yourself that's a beautiful thing, really, to say, okay, what would they do? I admire this person. That movie really
Mhm.
inspired me. Let me tap into
Mhm.
that. Because sometimes you gotta find what works
Exactly.
for you. Yes, we
Girl.
need to really, see God as our ultimate superhero. But if
Amen.
there are other people that can help you to like see yourself in a better light because of how they portrayed themselves on screen, by all means,
Mhm.
like, and hey, you need to be encouraged. So I think that
Yes.
everybody has to find their person or their thing that's like, how can I get out of this rut today? Like, cause for me, that would be music sometimes, cause even in caregiving, you be like, I don't know if I can get out of bed today. Like, I feel like I'm just tired and I just need a minute. I just need a beat to just breathe. And so
Yeah.
put on that music, and then, you had your little dance party in the bathroom. You're like,
There
okay,
you
all right,
go.
I can do this.
Listen, my dance party, my karaoke party's in the car. That's my stage. That's my
Yes,
stage.
yes.
Yeah,
So
music
many
is
people say that.
powerful.
Yes, it's a force. It's a
Mhm.
force. So
Mhm.
it's crucial that we are like really listening to those right messages too, because a good song with some good Bible verses is like,
Mm.
for me personally, like, I need you to just go down the line with the good Bible verses. Preach me a sermonette in the midst of that verse, okay? I need it. So that helps me to just keep
Yeah.
going and be like, okay, all right, I got this.
Yeah.
I can live to
Yes.
fight another day. I can do this. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
God is helping me. God is with me. So
Amen.
I just love what you said though. That was deep about the superhero thing. Like,
Mhm.
everybody gotta find their thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
how can your loved ones support you best though? Like, what would you say to anybody, like whoever you're with? Like, how can they support you? Like, what would be something practical that they can do to support you?
Um. Well, my wife,
Mm,
she's definitely been a huge supporter of mine here and there. Not here and there, but at times. Let
mhm.
me, I just want to say something real quick though.
Mhm.
So yes, we do have our loved ones,
Mhm.
our spouses, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends that are there, you know,
Mhm.
can be there, but
Mhm.
it's also okay to have your friends to be there too, you know.
Right.
Um, it's kind of like that thing where you have friends for different situations, you know, different environments or things like that. If I know I'm having like a, a heavy day, you know, a heavy depressive day, Um, and if I know that my wife isn't up to handling that task of trying to provide some support for me, I have a couple people that I can call on. You know, I can call on you. I can call on a couple of my other friends, and just sitting there, just talking to y'all. You know, just fellowshipping with y'all. It helps. Even with my wife, it helps when we just fellowship and we just talk. We'll, talk about the randomest things. We'll talk about movies that we, watched last year. We have a lot of one-liners we say from movies and things like that that'll just get us cracking up and things like that, man. It's You have to find that special connection, but it starts within you first to know yourself, to kind of provide that outward um, information that person, lack of a better information that person may need to help support you. And I will also
Yes.
say to do a what do you call it? Love language
Hmm.
test. Find your love language. Do one with your wife. Do one with your husband, so you guys know each other's love languages, and that definitely helps out too with a lot.
Right. I love what you said about having different friend groups because I've been saying that for a while. There is a such thing as friendship tiers, TIERS, because you have friends that you can
Yes,
pray with. Then there are friends that you can
yes.
kiki with. Then there are friends
Hmm.
that like they just gonna be just you can confide within them about things. So it's like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to have different people. Cause some people just gonna be that cordial friend. Hey, how you doing? How's the dog?
Exactly,
It ain't gonna
exactly,
be no deep
exactly.
conversation. It's gonna be like
Mm-mm.
a
Just that
shallow
that
conversation,
small
surface
talk. Yeah,
level. So it's so
exactly.
important to have different kinds of friends. And that way, also the load is not also on one person. It's a
Hmm.
shared load. It's a shared burden,
Exactly.
because it
Yes.
can be
You
heavy,
give
like
and
you
you
said.
take.
And what are burdens? Heavy. So you need help.
Hmm.
You need support.
Hmm.
It can't just be one person. You have to have a community, a village. And then with
Amen.
the love language thing, that was so good too because it can be sometimes that you feel like you love the person the way that you want to be loved, right? And
Hmm.
that can be a problem because it's like, okay, but they feel loved differently. They receive love differently. So I
Yes.
can want words of affirmation all day from someone, but if they don't feel loved in words of affirmation, like when I'm trying to love them, I can't just say, oh, let me just encourage them. No, they might need a hug. They need a physical touch. They
Mm,
might need acts of service. Let me do something for them. They might need quality
exactly.
time. Let me spend time with them. They might need a gift.
Yeah.
Like, or
Yeah.
that might not be their thing. So it's very important to
Hmm.
understand where both of you like align, like where do you match up there, so you can be like, okay, this is how they feel it.
Yes.
When I do X, Y, and Z, they feel
Hmm.
loved, they feel supported, because there's nothing worse than like telling somebody what you need and then they still trying to do what they want to do or how they want to do it, because
Yeah.
it's natural though. That's what I learned. It's
It is.
natural. Like if like for instance, my mother might say she might be a person that likes to give gifts, right? So I can't say
Hmm.
um like she it's hard for her to be like, oh, let me do something else because that's her way of feeling loved. You understand? So I can't
Absolutely.
like you don't want to like oh that was like don't like you don't want to like just like blow
Minimize
them
it.
off, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to pull them
Yeah.
off, but you still have to be like, yo, like I appreciate that, but gifts, okay, that's nice, but give me a hug, encourage me,
Yeah.
like you know what I
Yes.
mean. So you got to be willing to say that too, because otherwise you're never gonna get what you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love what
It
you
goes
said.
back to communication.
Exactly, because they gonna be sitting there like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Because you didn't tell me anything, or I'm
Right.
doing this and you never said that you didn't like this. So what
Hmm.
am I supposed to
Hmm.
do? So it's beautiful that you have that insight about it.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's tough. It's not easy. Every day it is a struggle, and I'm not saying that I woke up one day feeling, all optimistic and things like this. No, it takes work. It takes work. and relationships ain't easy. It takes a lot of patience, understanding, and just openness, and just willing to adapt to change sometimes. And we all hate change. We all
Right.
can't deal with change, but change has to happen to grow. 'Cause if we don't
Yeah.
change, we don't grow. We
Right.
digress.
Yeah, I just really wanted to talk about this and just shed some more light on this because black men and mental health is just it's so important that we know how to support y'all as black women as y'all counterparts, but also that the world at large can really get a knowledge if they don't even if they don't get understanding, if they don't get to that point, at least they can say, well, I know this now. If I have a black
Hmm.
man in my life, I know this is
Hmm.
what's going on for them. Like, not that you know everything or you understand everything, but at least, hey, here's a little bit of what might be happening in that mental space, with someone that I
Yeah,
I love or care for, that's black, a black man. So it's important.
it is important. And the one thing I do want to mention too, with black women too, it's lovely how y'all are so supportive and so nurturing too, and it just comes so natural that us men sometimes we don't even see it, but you guys, you ladies, excuse me, you ladies meet us where we are, at times. And sometimes that's in a dark place. Sometimes you have to be in that dark place to see the light to get out of that place. You know,
Right.
and and one thing I do say to my wife sometimes, like, she's my anchor. When I'm down, when I'm low, she's my anchor to kind of help lift me back up sometimes. The same thing with you too. Our conversations that we have. It's always fun. It's never a dull moment. So
And one
even when
thing
I'm
I'm gonna
on
do.
like the deep end, you definitely roll me back in sometimes too. So yeah,
Yeah, I like to bring the light. I like to have a laugh and try not to
of course.
be so serious all the time and just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, have you thought about this? Or like, if I know something, that's one thing that's
Hmm.
important too, y'all. If you know something that can help somebody, send it their way. Send a scripture,
Yes,
send a song, send a
yes,
video. If you saw something
yes,
online and it was helpful and you feel like it's from a reputable source, or
yes.
it's something that can help someone, please do
Hmm.
send it to that person. Don't be afraid, don't hesitate. Even if you don't know if they might ever watch it, just do it. Be obedient when you feel led by God to say, let me show this to this person. Maybe they can shed some light. Maybe they can feel less alone.
Hmm.
But that's
Hmm.
that's always the mission as far as I'm concerned. Like, we're trying to be a support system.
Exactly, exactly. So true.
Yeah, so I would like for you to plant a seed for the listeners. If there would be one thing that you want the world at large and the black community at large to know about black men and mental health, what would that be? Like, what would you say to that they need to hang on to from this entire conversation if they just remember one thing? What would that be?
And I can't just say one thing. It's it's like that whole long laundry list that you need. It's not just
Right,
it's tough just to say that one thing, because that one thing stems to another thing.
right.
It
It's a branch.
interconnects with each other. Exactly, exactly.
Right, just offer some encouragement though. Like, if there's
For
one thing
sure.
you want to leave them with.
It's okay to be vulnerable. Um, it's okay to shed a tear um, in front of our beautiful young women, our beautiful black young women. It's okay to be vulnerable. It may be tough, may be scary. You may have some friends or some family members that are rough around the edges. But if you don't need that, if that doesn't work for you, communicate that to them. Let them know, hey, just the way that your tone comes off kind of offends me a little bit. You know, do it your way, but don't make it offensive to them. Just understand first, understand your needs, and second, to communicate them in a proper way that they can understand, and then support you in their way that makes you feel loved, cared for, cherished,
Mhm.
um, all of that.
Right. I would definitely have to add on to that. Make sure you find your tribe because
Yes.
it's okay if certain family or friends don't get it. That's okay. You're just
Oh
gonna have
yeah,
to
it's okay.
understand, like, like find your people. God will send
Yes.
you your people.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's just important to keep hope alive for that possibility that there are people out there that get it and they're gonna love on
Mhm.
you and encourage you,
Mhm.
support you, just rally
Mhm.
around you. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's so
It's
important. So
it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling once you kind of experience that.
mhm.
It's not you're not gonna want to go back. You know, you're gonna want more of that. You know,
Yeah.
so find it. Don't give up. Please don't give up. Please.
Yes. To all the men out there struggling with mental health, whether you're black or white or Hispanic, Asian, Indian, whoever you are, and even if you're a woman, whoever you
Hmm.
are that's struggling with mental health, that's going through something right now, keep your head up, keep the faith. Talk to God about it. Tell Him everything. You don't have to leave anything
Hmm.
out. He's not surprised. And just
No.
just know that you can find your village and your community, and
Hmm.
just keep hope, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah. And one thing, just one last thing too. Um, and it's okay to say I love you. It's okay to say that. Some people need to hear it. But
Oh
it's okay to
yeah,
say it too. You know, it's okay to say it to your friends. And it's not like anything homophobic. It's you know, you're showing that love to them. You know, you're claiming you're that ride or die for them. Cool, you got that. I feel that. I see that. But just know I love you. You know, just feel it. Just say it. Just let them
yeah.
hear it.
It's so true. Like as far as black men, um, communicating with other black men or men in
Hmm.
general, there's this
Yeah.
stigma that, oh, I can't say I love you, I can't hug them. Like, where did that come from? It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's like my thing is, whoever's out there thinking that, then they're
Hmm.
not the person for you anyway. If they're thinking
Exactly.
like that, like they're that
Yeah.
sensitive, that's something that they
Yeah.
have to deal with. That's a wound that they have to deal with. And it's like
Hmm.
it's okay to hug each other. It's okay to
Oh, for
say I
sure.
love you. Like it
Mm.
doesn't mean that you're gay or whatever. So I just
Yeah.
think that it's so important that people know that too. That was a great point that you made.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, like love each other, be brothers, have brotherhood, like be there,
Listen,
show
if
up.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith can go through hell and back, and Bad Boys wouldn't too. And if Will Smith, listen, I say this a lot to people too. Like if you literally like you've watched that movie so many times, they've been through hell and back. Martin Lawrence got shot in his butt in the second one, you know,
Oh my
and
goodness.
he still has love for his partner, you know, Will Smith, and it's cool because it's so powerful just to have your friend, man, I love you, you know, and it's like, wait, what,
Yeah.
bro? I love you. Not like in a homophobic way, but bro, I care about you, man. I care about you. I know that you're struggling,
Yeah.
but just know that you got love coming from me. You got love coming from your peoples. You got support, you know?
Yeah, we gotta get rid of that stigma that is like
Yes.
is something
Yes.
that you have to be gay if you say you love the person that's the same sex.
Yeah.
Like
That's just a
you
horrible
even on,
stigma
on
that
on the female side, like we have to like stop saying that. Like love is important. Like you have to
listen, I
love
hear
each
females say, I love you all the time to other females. I hear it all
other.
the time.
Right.
Best
It's so
friends say that. Why
natural.
can't us men do that too?
Yes, it's so natural because we
Mhm.
say we love our moms, our we love
Mhm.
sisters, aunties, cousins, grandma. It's so natural. We
Yeah.
hug each other. It's not no
Yeah.
big deal. But then as soon as a man wants to do it, some people are just looking at him sideways for loving. And I think it's
Right.
so beautiful when I see men that are like they're secure enough in themselves to say, "I love you," or I'm here for you. I'm supporting you. I'm rooting for you.
Mhm.
I'm in your corner, like get and give a hug, not just a side hug, like
Exactly.
a regular hug,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
not the little
Do a
church
little
hug.
shake with it too, and just bring it in, tap on the shoulder, bring it in. Like, I love you, man. I love you too, man. Yeah, do
Like it
do
don't
all
have
of
to
that.
be
Like,
so weird. Just
exactly. Don't.
like to
Don't.
me,
You
it's
know.
like love is universal. It's for
It is.
everyone. So
It
I just
is.
feel like we have to stop doing it. And then it's like it's just kind of offensive to other people too. Like, why does it have to be the case? And even if they were, if they were gay, like that's a controversial take. But like, even if somebody was, so like they can't hug, like people, men can't hug,
Right.
like. So we just have to get past
No.
that point where it's like a stereotype about people of the same sex showing affection, like. And I just feel like,
Yeah.
everybody has their
Yeah. Yeah.
views on
For
things,
sure.
but it's like, come on, a hug or saying I love you. What's the big deal?
Mhm.
So I just really
It's.
love that. I really love that because it can
Thank
be
you.
healing for someone and freeing for someone to know that that's okay. So that was just so
Absolutely.
good.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate. It's just fun. This is really fun.
Yes. Yes. I love it. So thank everybody for tuning in and make sure that you give me a follow over at B Channel 27 if you want more content that's on all my social media platforms. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, follow if you're listening to this or you're watching wherever you're listening or wherever you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you tune in and just give us a follow. Make sure you give us a
Yes.
comment. Let us know what you thought about this. If you want more content like this, I really would appreciate the support. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace and blessings.
Bye.